I'm on my way to jiu-jitsu, and as I'm using the subway, I started feeling sick, like, hot head, just like motion sickness, but it's kind of like this nasty feeling. Um, People were passing me, and sure, I have enough calories, energy for this because it's not strenuous, but I'm just, it's like in motion sickness, and fortunately, I have it. I don't think it will affect my performance, but they're trying to, it's almost like ultimatums, like, we're not going to let you have a job if you do this activity, or if you do this activity, in this case it's jiu-jitsu, we're going to, demolish your stuff or something like that. And I've never really had anything. I don't have anything and of really value. All I really have is a van, my saws, my ropes, my harness, and they're instigating, like, well, now you're going to lose everything because I don't want a psychological breakdown or to have bad behavior. I want to have the most correct action I can if bad things happen. So, as a way of coping with this jiu-jitsu is been beneficial and is beneficial. The response burden for me to go to the jiu-jitsu school is it's about an hour. So that's riding the subway. That's 30-minute ride to the subway, maybe a little bit longer. So during that time, I'm exposed to whatever is there on the subway, and everything else, that the dust and everything that's on the road, and the sounds, everything. So I always have kind of, I wouldn't say, it's like a type of stress when I'm going there. Now, I've went to academies and been sent away, and unfortunately, that's happened to me at some academies, and sometimes I was an instructor for a very long time, and I still consider myself an instructor. So I was a coach as well in a high school. So I've never really had any like huge injuries doing this, any jiu-jitsu and grappling arts. It is dangerous and to some extent, but it's not really been a liability. But one person said it, and I don't know where they got their information, but they're foreign. And then it was like a domino effect, like multiple people said it at different times for activities I choose to do. And those activities are the only things that I know how to do. I don't know how to do anything else. And I'm not allowed to do anything else. And other things in my life don't fulfill that void. So, you can see me. My legs are working. My hands are working. My head is working. You can see everything here. So when I start hearing people being really negative and somehow they got wind of me going to train and they're being very negative, uh, and they're being very condescending, um, I find it very evil. And I find them almost in line with something evil and something more there. I don't know if they go to church on Sundays or go to the mosque on Fridays or, go to the synagogue or go to the temple. I don't know about this. But, the behavior of, trying to push me and get me out of here, blow a whole bunch of money, I really don't find it beneficial in my life. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a child molester. I'm not a felon. I'm not a terrorist. I'm not an extremist. So this is not, uh, this is where they wait for the bus. That's not the dojo. That's not that place. So suddenly the influence, the spiritual influence or just the influence that people have in my life, there is some sort of effect if someone says something negative and it takes 3 calories, 4 calories, a calorie, and they're saying something negative, or they're just repeating a phrase that they heard, or they, I'm not going to say somebody shot it in their head, somebody put that in their head, and there was a speaker. They were in the woods, and it's camouflage, it's covered with the camouflage net and tarp, but they're pointing it in their direction, and now the people heard it subliminally and quietly, and they're repeating it. I'm not going to say all that. Oops, I just said it. So, it is what it is, and the behavior that happens, it affects me. It affects the way I view the world. It affects my social demeanor. And people that aren't in the same situation as me are telling me how I should handle it. I should ignore it. Their opinion doesn't matter. But then the other side of that is, well, they're dead to me. And I shouldn't think that either, because they're not. And that has happened before, where they told me I should ignore it. These people don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're talking. They're very easily to manipulate. Their moral fabric and ethical foundation is very easy to manipulate. And if one person is engaging in abuse towards this individual, then they will engage in abuse towards an individual, whether it be a 5-calorie response burden of saying something negative, or writing negative documents about this individual. And I'm not sure about the calorie expenditure in writing, but if it's 1 person, and it's 2 person, then it's 4 person, then it's 8 person, then it's 16 person, then it's 32 persons, and then we can go to 64, so on and so forth. So, and the calorie expenditure with this is magnified. So the reason why I'm bringing up the calorie expenditure is because it's a way to measure that negative force that's multiplied, that multiplied force. So, and I don't know where it goes. I don't know what it does, but there's a continuity that we follow. It's the air we breathe and the wind that's going. It's the basic essence of humanity and being a human, and things that we know intuitively without really being taught, or without really, discussing it in the open. So, I mean, if you look at the monkey is an animal, but they have a kid, and they don't want that kid to get hurt. They care about that kid generally by their movements. We see that. So, I mean, and they're not human, but the essence of the spirit is still there. And that happens for a lot of mothers and their young. The essence of a living being is still there. And I don't know about trees and trees' wants, but obviously there's something there that makes them grow and want to live, or live in general. And that's what I want. But I really believe these things that are happening, and whether it be negative statements, and again, that measurement of a negative statement, the calorie count that it takes to be negative, and that force there. Because what would happen is, and this is where I'm going, is that negative calorie count of throughout time, that becomes a very powerful force. Whether it's man, that's annoying. Whether it's someone doing some catastrophic activity that's very extreme. This was a result from a whole bunch of negative counsel, witnessing negative behavior, and then having a negative reaction because people are being negative. And this was a result because of that. Or they didn't have the education or the analytical view or the scholarly view or the physicality to say, well, this is what these people are saying. This is what they're doing. And we are examining this for safety reasons. It's not a thing of negative behavior. It's not a thing of something that has been very disturbing. And this was a result. Excuse me, I lost my train of thought because I'm walking, and unfortunately I don't have a nice office or anything like that. I haven't seen these people out here before, so like I said before, I may be getting monitored, or they may be taking part in surveillance. And if that's the case, that's not something I like. I find it very oppressive. So, like I said before, the magnification or the addition of one person saying something negative, another person saying something negative, and then so on and so forth. And then that past force of all that combined negativity, it creates a force, and I don't know where it goes. Okay, and the same thing goes with positive behavior and, you know, things that are positive. Where I'm walking at now is pretty. You know, there's a lot of vegetative growth at this time of year, and it's a nice place, which is evident that this is a nice area. You know, there's good in humanity. There's good things, but um, some places aren't so nice, and unfortunately, that's what people see and witness, and that's their view. They like things messed up. They've never seen anything nice and organized, so they don't know what that is. And it is what it is. So the reason why it is that it's been a form of manipulation, and they have that form of manipulation. Well, the thing is, when I don't get training and they keep sending me away from training, I start getting a very negative view on life. You know, this is the time that it happens. This is where it happens, and we're not going to let you train this day. Well, here's the money. I don't have any rashes. I'm clean. What is it? Well, we try to micromanage you in this area. We're trying to micromanage. What are you trying to do? Well, I'm trying to be a healthy person. I'm trying to be the best jiu-jitsu practitioner that I can. And we don't do jiu-jitsu. All we do is talk about it. And we're saying to you that this is a very negative, negative thing here. So we don't know what it is. And this response burden, the effort that this is taking, is something that I'm trying to relay. And this is going in that direction. You know, here I left my only form of shelter, all my tools to go train jiu-jitsu, and the response burden is, you know, the response burden is going to be 3.5 hours. Okay, that's really what it's going to take, and people are monitoring me at the same time. So, you know, the psychological effect of being monitored and covertly observed, on top of the stress response of making the effort to go train, and then doing that, trying to do this as best I can. So this is really what's happening. Okay? And not only that, having to battle through those smells and this just to go train. It's not even a competition. And those feelings of whatever, this sort of thing. Okay? It's a distraction. All right? So I'm going in here. Hopefully I get some training in. I'm about 18 minutes late. But I hope people are there ready to train, because I'm ready to train. Regardless of my feeling, my feelings. So there's different parts of your life that you need to work out. There's a psychological part, there's a physical part, there's a part for work. So this is one of those parts, and each part relies on each other. Okay, I shouldn't stop